Immediate past governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, on Tuesday doubled down on his recent criticism of the Tinubu administration by calling it the most corrupt and worst government in Nigeria's history. El-Rufai said the federal government under Tinubu was the most lying government that depended on false propaganda, especially on security challenges bedeviling the country. When asked what was wrong with the government, he said, and I quote, "I should ask you, can you afford 3 square meals? Can your salary buy what it used to buy 2 years ago? I should ask you, there's nothing wrong with the government?" Or refuting claims by the government that security had improved in the country, he added that the insecurity in Nigeria was due to federal government's failure to prefer deeper solutions to address what he termed the prevailing security challenges from their roots. Now, when we look at El-Rufai, we know he was once a Tinubu ally. What factors beyond policy disagreements do you think might be driving this shift that we're witnessing?
Well, first of all, address the issue of factuality of what he's saying.
Okay. Yes.
I would say the reality of what he's saying. He should know what he's saying because he has been very much part of the establishment. And he played a role in bringing this government to life. So he knows what he's saying. If he says you cannot afford 3 square meals, I would say it's not lying. If he says, you see, this you could afford before you cannot afford them, that's a general thing in the Nigerian economic landscape. And it's not peculiar to Nigeria. But it is unfortunate that it came at the time when Tinubu came in, and he exacerbated it by the fuel subsidies gone situation. I won't say things are abating. He's in a position to know. A former governor, a former founder of the party, and somebody who engineered the Muslim ticket that brought Tinubu on board. I will say this is a way of telling Tinubu that he has to pay the price of the support they gave to the Muslim ticket. Because he is a Fulani, and the Fulanis run the north. He's throwing his cap into the ring to start the campaign for 2027. Unfortunately, the president himself said that until INEC asked them to start campaigning, it is illegal to campaign because some people are putting his billboard and that of the vice president all over the country. So in a way, it's a midterm reckoning. We don't have midterm elections, but he has thrown his cap into the ring. And it is up to the government to accept the challenge. But the realities of economic pain that he has mentioned are not lost on all of us. So let's leave it at that for now.
Would you say El-Rufai's criticism is from a place of care for the Nigerian economy and care for the Nigerian people, or his stance on President Bola Tinubu's position and intention to run for a second term? I
think it's a case of sour grapes.
Yeah.
So he is very much part of our problem. He cannot suddenly turn around to say he's the solution. No way. This was a man who was minister, was governor, was Director of Bureau of Public Enterprises that handled the privatization. He was a minister, like Wiki, like Minister of Federal Capital Development. So I said here that they treated him unfairly by not confirming him as minister. I said that. And I thought he was criticizing so as to put his house, that is the PC, his former house now, to put it in order. But now it seems he has gone to a party that is virtually non-existent. And then again, if you talk about him and Buhari, there's not the Tinubu regime and Buhari. It's the same party. I mean, it is an elongation of the Buhari. This is about, they are going to the 12th year now. So it's still an in-house criticism, but to me, it is a challenge.
So I want to pose the same question back to you guys. Is El-Rufai speaking for Nigeria from the point of care or his own bitterness against Bola Tinubu? It's a rhetorical question, but I need your answer anyway, obviously. What we're getting from El-Rufai is criticism of Bola Tinubu's administration and the president as well. Something happened recently, just about, I think, yesterday, Tuesday or Monday. And all the things he mentioned, we will delve into it. But I want you to watch this till the end. And also, if you're meeting us for the first time, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you've been following us, you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like, or share, and also participate in the comment section as well. Now, he mentioned things about insecurity, food scarcity, price of goods and commodities, everything that you and I see in the country, all the experiences by Nigerians on a daily basis. Those are the things he mentioned. So we're not going to delve into it because El-Rufai was part of the problem. El-Rufai was part of the same APC government. It was in Kaduna for 8 years. People are still talking about his reign of terror in the Kaduna State. And it was there with Buhari. And then today we're still talking about it. But the thing I want to buttress here is I want to touch on the elements that they used to rig elections. Okay? The people they used to bring people like this into government. And you also have to remember that politicians can read us the people. They know how to, take our anger, fuel those anger to use them to get them into power, and then they become more of terror than the previous administration. I'll explain that. The things that happened during the Buhari administration is not worse during Bola Tinubu's administration. And what happened during the Jonathan time was that there was a lot of corruption, and we got angry, and they used the anger of the people to bring in themselves. So they come in, and then Nigeria gets even worse than what it was before. My point here is this. We have to now get to realize that it is our responsibility to not let them use our anger for their own benefit and selfish goods. And in trying to win election, oftentimes they rig election and they use different people to rig those elections. For example, we know that youth corpers are the ones that they use oftentimes to be at polling stations and polling booths. All right? And then when they finish, the youth corpers, as part of their civic duty, we return the result back to the INEC in the local government level. And then they do their own bit to the state, and the state announces the result. And obviously to the federal level too. So I want to address those people they're using. First of all, the ones that were used in 2023. Some of you were threatened, and some of you were told you weren't going to pass out of your youth service program. So I want to ask you now that you've finished school, have you found jobs? 99% of the time, everyone said no. To the returning officers at the local government level, the money they bribed you with, how far did it take you? You yourself know that it didn't take you far. At the state level, how far did it take you? You know the answer to the story. But I also want to talk to those professors, because professors are our INEC coordinators, state returning officers. You see how bad our schools are. Why have you become so complicit in helping politicians rig elections? I know you were underpaid, but you want a different kind of situation within the school premises so that you can teach and guide students, and then we'll bring out new crop of students who will build Nigeria to the next level. And again, look at our universities. Many of you professors, you got your degrees from the West. If you look at the country's university today, do you love it? I know the answer is no. So why have you become complicit in helping politicians rig elections? Why have you become part of the people that have helped them to accomplish this devious task that is pushing Nigeria backward? Because what is going to happen is that we're going to be addressing all of these elements. We're bringing that in line because we know what happened. For example, I think it was 2019. There was a professor that was jailed for rigging an election. That's the Akpabio's election. And a lot of people don't realize that same man applied for his sentence to be cut short because of health problem is now being freed. At least I think he's being freed. So let me ask you a question. Do you see what is literally going on? The enablers of these corrupt practices understand that they have the judges in their pocket, and we know that the judiciary is part of our biggest problem. So they have all these elements in places. And for us to stop this election rigging, we have to do that before it gets to the court. Because check it out this way. They rig the elections. They tell you to go to the court. They've already bought the court over. The court will only, again I say, only give one output. They will deny any other documents you're bringing in to support your evidence to say the election was rigged, and the court will say yes. So if we must stop this election rigging or this judicial appointment of our elected leaders, we have to do that at the polling booth. We have to address all these people that are part of the process, from the local government level from the ward level to the local government to the state level and to the federal level. And to you guys who are manning the servers, can you travel on the road now? For the one that said the server just went off completely like that, something that's on the cloud just went off. Now, can you travel on the road? You rig the election, you turned off IRF server all of a sudden, but you cannot travel now. You're afraid. This insecurity affects also bad government. It doesn't just affect only the people that didn't get the bribe. It affects everybody else. So as we prepare towards 2027, I'm not basing my conversation about El-Rufai because everything he said is right. But El-Rufai cannot be taken out of the equation because it was part of the rot that brought this government into existence. I mean, we're talking about 12 years of APC government. So he cannot exonerate himself right now to say, I've seized Tinubu's government. You were part of it. Everyone saw what you did in it. So now that you've had a falling out, at least we think is a falling out, you want to then say you're not part of the government. No, you're all part of the government. You're part of the problem. And we're trying to fix the problem. So we're going to come for all of you one after the other. What I mean by coming for you, all of you on it, we're going to call you all out so that we can identify all the people that helped to destroy the nation so that we don't recycle them. We don't want the likes of Akpabio anymore. We don't want the likes of the Speaker of the House Assembly anymore. Because when we see what you guys have done, we realize we don't have a hope with you guys sitting as the Speaker or the Senate President. Look at our courts. The judiciary is a skeleton of itself because literally it just said to the executive, do my job for me or tell me how to do my job. So let's address all these people, these elements, So I've identified them. I might have missed a couple of others as well. It's now time for us to now start calling them out so they know. Listen, for those of you who are in your third year university, fourth year university, fifth year university, some of you will be the polling booth officers at the polling station. It will be your time to be patriotic, to make sure those election results are not rigged. And to the police, you have to do your best to protect those ballot papers because you are suffering too, just as your families are suffering. Don't think that if you rig the election for the incumbent, you're going to be getting promoted. No. And if they promote you, how much is your salary anyway? All these things are the things we're addressing right now. We're not waiting for INEC to start their, sensitization campaigns and the things that they do. We don't want all of those. It's always 1 month before the election. They tell you not to sell your election. You just know that's a bribe, part of their electionary duty anyway. That's why we're starting that now. So all El-Rufai said, it was right. This government is failed in every factor, in protection of human lives and properties, So El-Rufai is not far from the truth. However, we need to now start to turn our attention away from the likes of El-Rufai. We want to use us to get power off of Tinubu and become another worse Tinubu than Tinubu himself. Okay? So we need to focus our attention and start to help sensitize those young people that we want to use to rig the election. That guy that works at the INEC office who is in charge of the server that they want to use to switch the server off again. Okay? And we need to start talking to those judges too. Let them know that we know that the ones that have been electing our politicians for us. Because it's not what we paid for, that's what we got. What we got, that Temu advert they do, what I paid for and for Temu and what I got. It's exactly what Nigeria looks like right now. And that's why Nigeria is on a downward spiral. So I don't know if you agree with everything that I said, but put your comments in the comment section and let us know what you think about El-Rufai's statement. But above all, if you're meeting this content for the first time, like, share, and subscribe. And if you've been following us and you've not yet subscribed, please do so. And also recommend this channel to others. I'll catch you up in the next video. God bless you as always. Bye-bye for now.